Welcome everyone to MS Confidential. This is a special holiday gathering today with our panelists. And for those of you who have never been here before, we host monthly gatherings of candid conversations of living with multiple sclerosis and chronic illness. Today, we're just going to gather around the holiday hearth and talk about Christmas and the season and New Year and Hanukkah and all these different holidays that we are juggling and how that affects our MS or our other chronic conditions. For me, the natural retreat of this season mirrors my own life with chronic illness. The many ways that my body has had to pull into solitude, reflection, that's often saved for like the later years of life, but I have had to do this in my 40s. We learn to embrace our own rhythms, question our conditioning, tend to our deepest longings. And often that means our lives look really different than what society expects from us. Our pace is slower, our tables maybe are more empty, our calendars are uncluttered with holiday obligations. Thank God. But what arises from this silence is the clarity of our own unique voice, or at least this is something that I'm learning to lean into myself. And so I want to explore this dialogue today because I know the stresses of the holidays brings up a lot and can increase symptoms, but it can also invite in a different aspect of ourselves that we get to illuminate. And as we ignore the expectations of what we were supposed to be doing during the holidays. So I'm looking forward to this conversation. We have our three regular amazing panelists. Most of you already know them. So if you want to learn more about them, just hop on over to Unfixed Media, MS back / is it? Yeah, / MS Confidential. And you can read about our lovely humans. Elizabeth Jameson, of course, is the director of our show. Kyle Cronick, who, oh, hello, Elizabeth. And Kyle Cronick, who continues to just be like my soul brother. And I hope someday that we can connect because, man, this guy is good. And Annie Brewster, who I've had so much fun, especially this last year, collaborating with her. She brings such a wealth of wisdom and intellect and honesty to everything that she does. So it's just been such a pleasure to have her here with us. We don't have any guests today, so we're going to just dive in. Elizabeth, Kyle, Annie, how are you feeling about the holidays? We've got the solstice coming up and Christmas in a couple weeks. Where are you at?
Very calm, surprisingly. My holidays are not like they used to be. It used to be big family gatherings, lots and lots of stress. But I've really toned it down with the holidays these days. Very small gatherings, and I kind of need that. I can't do all the stress.
Is that a deliberate choice, like because of the symptoms in MS, where you're just like, I can't handle this, so family, this is what we're going to do?
It kind of is. And yeah, Thanksgiving this year, it was the smallest Thanksgiving I probably have ever had. It was just me, my partner, and my mother. That's it.
How did that feel?
It was so nice. And we ordered a really nice meal to be made for us, so we didn't have to prepare anything, no stress on that part. We could just sit and enjoy each other's company.
Wow.
It's the new
What a
tradition.
concept. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a new tradition. I highly recommend it.
Yep.
Yeah, good. I'm not there yet on the scaling back. Still feel, even though I only still have one kid at home, I have 3 launched. I still feel a big responsibility to create like the Christmas vibe. And it tends to all fall on my plate of like, like the bane of my existence is this advent calendar we have that's like made of wood, and each day has a little box that you open the door, and there has to be like a small object inside.
something in there.
And if I were organized throughout the year and got small objects every time I saw them and stockpiled them, that would be good. But usually it's like, the day before December begins and I'm running around trying to find small objects. And then I do like a week at a time. It feels very forced. It's supposed to feel magical. And I'm like this goddamn fucking advent calendar.
What do you put? Like what have you put in so far?
Well, let's see. I put in like lip gloss. I put in a necklace. This year it's only my daughter here, and she just broke her clavicle, so she got a lot of candy. So I usually put candy in it, but she got so much candy from people's gifts that's been taken off the table. So I got practical and I put underwear. I have like 4 pairs of really cute underwear that they can go up in a tiny little ball. Things like that.
I like that.
But it's, I'm like, geez Louise.
Oh
Anyway,
man, it's good that you've told me about this because I have a fondness for advent calendars. I like the
know.
memories of them as a child. I absolutely love them. And I was going to get one for Dave next year, similar to what you just described, where there was like something special for each day. And now I'm like, oh, I'm going to be like
Oh no,
you.
it's so
Why
lovely
am I doing
in
this?
concept, but I just don't think of it in advance. I think
Yeah.
if I'm just not, it turns out like I'm not such a good gift giver. Like I love being present with people, but I don't always think, like some people are really good at like, they see something and they're like, oh, that's perfect for so-and-so. It's not my skill set. So if I could do that all year long and then like have really special things, it's a nice idea. But usually it becomes a stressor because I'm like, shit. And I'm like 2 days, it's 2 days ahead, but I'm already thinking, shit, in 2 days, I'm going to need to put more crap in there. Anyway, and then you don't want to buy like stupid things that just cost money and no one needs.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
Not that much that fits in those little boxes, but I think you should get one. I bet you're a good gift giver.
No, I'm not. I'm terrible. I am absolutely, I've started lists on my phone for my, family and friends.
Yeah.
And it's just full of links, I'll see something, I'll be like, oh, that'd be great for Dave, but then I never follow up on it. And then it's last minute and I'm like, I'm not a no. Not a giver.
We're told you're an amazing gift giver, Elizabeth.
I'm told that I don't think so, but thank you for the
Oh, okay.
compliment.
Tell me how do you do it, Elizabeth? What does gift giving look like for you?
I look at things that I like for myself and think maybe if it doesn't really, I don't think they may not like it, then I give it to myself. It's terrible. That's and for the men in my life, I asked my husband, I said, "You're gonna have to help me." So
Yeah, men are tricky for sure.
Men are tricky. Did I tell
Okay, I'm seeing that
Oh, go ahead.
Lisa said you once gave her 5 different types of cheese.
Oh, that's a good gift.
That's a really good gift.
That's an amazing gift.
Yeah. And
But
wine.
Elizabeth maybe was prepared to eat them if Lisa didn't like them.
Yeah. Okay.
we don't talk publicly about that.
I'm gonna let my dog in. I'll be right back. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Elizabeth, how are you doing these days?
Well, I'm stressed. I get stressed in the holidays,
Yeah.
but it's good stress. I mean, I love the holidays. My brother's flying in from Albuquerque, and my sons just flew in, and my grandson flew in last night. So our house is getting full. So it's
They all stay with
exciting.
you.
That is exciting.
And
Do I remember you saying something last year? Maybe it was in one of the unfixed videos that in the morning, everyone gathers in the kitchen and they make, what is it, waffles or bacon or something. And I remember last year you thought everyone forgot you because you could smell all the smells from the kitchen.
Oh,
Oh, geez.
But I love that because there's not a lot of sound separation in my home from our bedroom and the kitchen. So I get to hear everyone talking, and I love that. I love that so much. I love having the house full, although it's very, very stressful. And I should say my husband's very stressed because he ends up doing the shopping and a lot of the cooking, and so it's stressful. And he's
So is
Jewish.
the
He's great.
stress, what's the stress for you? Or is it that your husband is stressed, or what what does the stress look like for you?
I think because my husband's stressed, that makes me stressed. And there's a lot of stress when you have the house filled with kids and
Oh yeah.
grandkids. It's just,
Mm. Yeah.
and always there's a toilet that doesn't work. The dishwasher doesn't work.
Of
There's
course.
always the oven doesn't work. There's always, 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 always. There's,
Yeah.
but we had Thanksgiving. All of David's family came for Thanksgiving, and their kids and their grandkids. So it was wild. Everyone sleeping on the floor in every available space. It was joyous. It was so great. I loved everyone. And the kids were old enough that they could fight with each other, and it was great. I mean, they're kid fights, but it was great. And this year, um, we're gonna have a full house with my side of the family, so it's gonna be great.
So it sounds like you do well with crowds, with lots of people, and like the noise and all that doesn't
I
bother.
love it.
It
Yeah.
doesn't like exaggerate symptoms or.
No.
Mm,
I used to love it. I get overstimulated like crazy these days,
yeah.
and it's still something that I'm trying to process because I used to love big crowds and being a part of big gatherings. I don't want anything like that these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sort of have a love-hate relationship with big crowds, forget it. But I mean like like I know I don't want to be in a huge crowd of people I don't know. That I know I hate. But the love-hate is like big family gatherings or people I care about, or I love it because I love being with the people I love, but I hate it because I feel like uber responsible for trying to hold it all up. And that's my own
Right.
issue. I recognize that. And then I get stressed because I want everyone to have a good time and I'm thinking about everyone else's feelings. And like for me, there's a tension of like wanting to let go of old traditions that I think can actually be really healthy. And I think like one of my kids in particular is so sentimental. Like he loves everything to be the same, and that's lovely. But I think there's a time when like even we're bumping up against it this year because my mom's 81 and she's really healthy, but like her house is under construction and we always go there. And so shaking it up and trying to get like new rituals and traditions, I think can be really good. But I think it can be hard too. There can be resistance. But I think once you get over that, like maybe that is like more of like a potluck, or I don't know. For me, I think I'd have more fun. And I think this is internal work of taking the burden off myself to feel responsible and just
Yeah.
let it be what it's going to be. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
That expectations are, I think, what
Yeah.
really can ruin anything, to be
Yeah.
honest. What were
Yeah.
you going to say, Elizabeth?
it's great, Nanny, that you're working on it, but it's just stressful. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just
It
open
is.
the door and let the stress in, say hi. And it's just it's not your fault, it's not your problem. It just
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time and effort and all sorts of emotions. So give yourself a break. That's what I think.
Yeah. And one thing came up recently in a conversation, just that sometimes asking for help is hard, but it also is an opportunity for others. People like it. It can be like a gift if you say, can you help me? It can be scary to do that for me. I have a hard time with that, but that's another thing I'm working on. Because I do think I like it when people ask me and I'm able to help. I feel useful and like it's an expression of my love for them. So I
Yeah.
think if we can do that more, like, because, it is tiring and it does take a toll. And it can
Yeah.
make symptoms flare for sure for me when I'm really run down. So
Mhm. I'm remembering a time, I think that was like 2 years into the dizziness, and so symptoms were really high, which included not just dizziness, but like sounds and lights and everything. So going into this time of year was especially hard because there's a lot of lights, like lights on the tree blinking and stuff was like making me dizzier. Things I wouldn't expect, like, oh, cute, I love trees. And that's such a nostalgic memory. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I can't go in that room. And I remember I was living with my mom at the time. And so my family is all in Colorado and they all gathered that morning for Christmas presents. And it was like you were saying, Kyle, it was so, I couldn't invite it in. It was too much for my nervous system. Like I just ended up, it was a bummer. I had to go upstairs and the crinkling of the wrapping paper every time a niece or nephew opened up another present, it was just like, and it was like daggers in my ears. And I remember just going upstairs and spending the day with my cat on the bed. And it was just like, it was the best I could do, but my nervous system was just saying, no, not possible. None of this can happen. And it was, I don't think I've ever had a large gathering since then, by choice, because it was just like, this isn't fulfilling to me anymore. So,
how did your
I'm,
family respond to that? Like, were they supportive or?
you know, it's a good question. I mean, they definitely, I felt their concern, but they also just continued with, the gathering. So and no, I don't think anyone ever came upstairs to check on me. We knew the whole day had kind of been planned out and there was going to be fondue that night. And so I emerged eventually and went down for the fondue. But I think they were all a little bit, this was before I had a diagnosis too. And so like, what the fuck is wrong with her?
Mhm.
It was a little bit like, what the hell? She's just so removed from, and I was judging myself too, because I just didn't know what was going on. Um, I've just felt like a scared cat. So I felt love. I didn't feel judgment, but I definitely didn't get, no one changed the rhythm of the day for me. But nor do I think I would wanted that either, because I needed to be alone. It's tricky.
It is tricky.
So it is.
Hmm.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like I know it's not fair because I might be like, no, no, I'm good, I'm good. But then you kind of want someone to be like banging on the door a little bit, like, are you sure you're good? You
Hmm.
don't want them to be bugging you, but you want them to want to be helping you. I don't know. That's me
Hmm.
anyway. Sometimes
Yeah.
I recognize that that's a hard standard for somebody to know
Yeah.
exactly what you want. Like maybe they think you want space. I don't know.
It's true. It's really hard for them to know. And I think you're right. Just checking in.
Yeah.
Um, for any family member that's listening, I think just the checking in, even if they say, no, I don't need anything, it feels good.
Feels
It still
good.
feels good that
Yeah.
you checked
I
in.
didn't forget about you. That's it.
Mhm.
Just that's the message. I didn't forget about you, thinking of you, but
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
means a lot.
So Kyle, you're headed into any more gatherings is your mom coming back for
I
Christmas?
haven't figured out Christmas exactly yet. It's like 10 days away, 11 days away. Don't have any
Yeah.
plans yet. I think though, I'd like to go out to eat on Christmas.
Mm.
There are some places I love diverse food options, and Asheville has so many amazing diverse food options that are open on Christmas. Like Indian restaurants around here, I love me some Indian food.
Yeah.
Me
We're
too.
probably gonna find some Indian restaurant to go to.
That's awesome. You and Jonathan, or maybe a couple of
Um,
friends, or
I'll probably invite my mom to come with us. She's not too far. Um, But just this past week, I was supposed to go to a big holiday gathering with my best friends in the world, and I was dressed up, looking so cute, ready to go, up until the time it was time to go, and then my body just said, "Can't do this," and I had to cancel, which
Ah,
broke my heart because they're my people. Being with them, it's a big group, but being with them really fills my soul.
mm.
It kind of killed me that I had to stay home.
Kyle,
Yeah.
you don't have to answer this, but if you want to, I'd be curious to know like how your body told you that.
It with the cold, it's worse than the heat for me these days, and absolutely everything was just going haywire. I could barely move my body. I'm
Mm.
having these new weird pains in my right leg that I get up to use my walker and I just collapse.
Mm.
So it was just a day of that, and I just decided that I couldn't push myself to. I knew it would be difficult just to get there and
Mhm.
everything. It would just
Yeah.
Those symptoms, they pile up on each other. I know that feeling where it's like, okay, I can handle this one. I got this. And then another one an hour later, and then another one. And by, the 10th, you're just like, I'm tired.
I was
Yeah.
overwhelmed, and I just had to call it.
Ah, I'm sorry. That sucks.
Or- yeah.
Elizabeth, have you had any situations like that where you've had to cancel? Let's talk about canceling on friends. What different events that come up this time of year?
Well, I'm so loving to go to parties, which is rarely or never. So, um, the one thing that an issue for me is that it's hard for me because I'm hungry and I want to eat the food, and unless there are people who feed me, there's nothing I can do. That's
Mm.
the hard part. That's an old conversation I've had here, and another of episodes. It's hard to be fed. People don't know how, and they
Mhm.
think it's gross
Mm.
or whatever. And it's, I have some anxiety about that. I think
Yeah.
that's my main anxiety.
Sure.
But I have good news that's not related to the holidays, is that my voice is improving. I'm shocked. I
Wow.
don't know if you can tell, but
Sounds good. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, I have a new internist, and I said my number one issue is my voice is getting more faint. I always have to have my voice amplifier. And she said, I don't know anything about MS, don't know anything about voice issues, but why don't you hum? I said, okay. So I've been humming like crazy, and it
Oh.
works unbelievably well.
Really?
And
Mm.
now I'm in speech therapy. And they giving me all sorts of breathing exercises that I do every day,
Oh,
that
that's so cool.
really hard
Interesting.
breathing
I love that.
exercises. And I can't believe them. And it's neuroplasticity.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And my neurologist said, my God, that's neuroplasticity. Never thought humming would work for you. I never thought that anything could be done for e- am- amplifying my speech. I was thinking it'd have to be a machine or
Mm.
uh, a better amplifier.
Amazing.
And so he was like shocked. Look, you're speaking so well.
Next
So
thing
I,
we know, you're gonna become a singer. I feel like you always are reinventing yourself. The lawyer, the
I,
visual artist, the writer, you're gonna be a
America's
singer.
Got Talent. Look out.
I think
I want to see it.
about the dancing. I like to be in the dancing competition or singing. That would be fun. But I'm really amazed that the first time I've seen neuroplasticity. So there's these nerve endings that I've never challenged.
Amazing.
And the exercises are boring, dumb, stupid. They're not fun. But I'm so excited. First thing I do when I'm good, try to make myself be the first thing is exercise, exercise these breathing muscles, which is
You
really
know,
good for influenza or coughs.
yeah.
I can blow my nose. This first time being
Huh?
able to blow my nose
Wow.
in years and years.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of breath
Yeah.
straight.
That's
And
amazing.
I've heard that humming also stimulates the vagus nerve. Is that right, Annie? Have you heard that?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's all these like hacks I've heard
It
to
very well
stimulate.
could. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that like
Makes
drinking
sense.
ice cold water and humming, these different things that like stimulate the vagus nerve, which,
Makes
puts
sense.
you more into a relaxed parasympathetic state. Do you feel good after you've been humming, Elizabeth?
great, I love it. It's
Wow.
hard. It's hard and it's not pretty. You don't want to hear me hum because my voice, I'm just starting to wake up. So, but I'm really thrilled. I'm
That's
really
very
into
positive.
Yeah.
neuroplasticity. So and then I'm not going to go to these events with voice amplifier because I look like a aerobics teacher having these headphones on, and it was awful. So and people can hear me. So,
Amazing.
so I don't take my voice for granted because their days are it's stubborn and it's not responsive. But I'm I'm so excited.
That's amazing, Elizabeth. I'm so
Have
happy
any
to
of
hear
you
that.
improved?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does it sounds smoother to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're shouting at me, Elizabeth.
Oh my God. I've always wanted to shout at you. You don't know what I've been holding back, and I don't want to do that. So
Now we really need to do our bitch session, but like full on sailor
yeah,
cussing, and Elizabeth can just let it loose.
Kyle, I always wanted to shout at you.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, let's work on that together.
Yeah. But
So, how do you guys um like okay, so the solstice, let's talk about like the darkness of the year. How do you handle the I know some people are really sensitive to light and they feel this time of year and the being trapped indoors and having the darkness. How does that affect you?
I hate it.
Hate it too.
Like it's dark by like 3 o'clock. It's not that early, but it feels like it's that early.
Mhm.
It's been dark for like hours. I'm like, okay, it's 5:30. I need light, vitamin D, and I don't like this time of year.
Really? Always? Has that always been that way?
It's been more so these past few years as my health has not been great. Uh, but yeah, I've got a nice light therapy lamp that I've got. Um, uh, that's almost always on these days.
Do you
So
sit in front of it? Like how does that work?
I sit next to it and like read.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's supposed to. I don't know if it's helping. I'm telling myself it is.
Yeah.
it's I've read a major article last week. It says it works beautifully.
Okay.
There's a very well-regarded research article which
Okay.
indicates it's miraculous.
All
Hmm.
right. Yeah, I had
I'm
somebody
joking.
send it to
I'm
me.
joking. I'm
Oh,
saying, I'm
Oh,
just telling you.
very convincing,
I
Elizabeth.
know you are.
yeah,
You are.
I
I was
believe
like,
you.
I got to go out and buy a light box.
Okay, so you're going to become a singer and a stand-up comedian then,
Yeah,
right,
I
Elizabeth?
would love that.
Yeah.
I have
I
a
can't wait to see
question
the show.
for all of you. Are any of you cold a lot? I'm freezing and the weather gets cold. I'm freezing all the time,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
breaking the heat up.
Yeah, I hate it.
I don't know. I do get like outside I get really cold. Like I get Raynaud's. Do you know what that is when your hand your
Yeah,
finger
yep. I
your
have
hand
Raynaud's.
yeah. So my hand like my very sensitive to
Right.
cold. Like my hands turn white. I have to wear
Mhm.
mittens if I don't forget. I mean if I forget, it's very painful and they turn white. Inside, I don't know, maybe because I'm probably having hot flashes too. I can't tell if I'm hot or cold or whatever.
I used to be really cold intolerant. And it was, again, when my nervous system was just like a scared cat, it was awful. Like I remember even some of the earliest symptoms before I started to get dizzy, I'd be editing on my computer screen and it would just get this like cold vibration inside my body that I could not make go away. Even in a hot bath, I would just like strip down, get in a hot bath, and it would just still be this like shiver inside. Turns out I was, because at one point I was hyperthyroid, so I had a lot too much thyroid, and then it dried, like I burned it out. And so now I'm on thyroid replacement and I don't have that experience anymore, but it's awful to be cold intolerant. I mean, it is such a terrible feeling. Everything just tightens up and grips and
My whole body is so tight.
uh,
Oh my gosh.
how do you have a hot bath, or do you have a physical therapist that works on the muscles, or what do you do with that?
Not much seems to have much effect. Not much helps.
Yeah.
Uh, which is really annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying, but it's almost pain to the point where it's painful, like
Oh,
wearing
it's
multiple
so
jackets around
painful.
the house and
Yeah, it's so painful. And my house just stays cold. Like it gets cold and it holds the cold. It's this
Mhm.
old brick house from 1969, not very well insulated. So I'm always wearing big jackets, got space heaters all over the place.
Can you train your dogs to lay on you?
They do.
That's a good question.
And they're a little cold themselves right now because I just got them
Oh,
shaved, so they're without
everybody's
all
cold.
their big full fur coats. So yeah,
Or
Yeah.
we're
like
all cold.
an electric blanket. Those are like not used as much as they used to be, but those are
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Jonathan just gave me an early Christmas present, and it's this. It's a heating pad slash massage pad.
Hmm.
Oh, I love it. So nice.
Those microwavable packs, I have a full body one and I call it my hot friend. And I just stick that thing in the microwave and I like put it on my, it feels like stepping into a hot bath. I like lay down and put it from head to my butt. And it's just this warmth just like seeps into me.
That's
Wow.
nice.
Great. I want one of those.
Hot friend. Everyone needs a hot friend.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. But I'm
Carol,
with you, Kyle, about the dark. I hate the dark.
Oof.
I need light. I need light. I'm very sensitive to it.
Yeah.
And it feels like, the days are so short. I feel like
Yeah.
later than it is. And it's kind of like a closed in feeling. Then I
Mm.
was sort of thinking about you guys and if you're in a wheelchair sometime, Elizabeth all the time and Kyle sometimes, like, I don't, it doesn't snow where you are, Elizabeth, but does it snow in Asheville?
Oh
Because
yeah.
that can really interfere with mobility. Like if the
Oh my
weather,
gosh. I
yeah,
already feel like I'm walking on ice. I don't need any more. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so
Mm.
it's hit or miss here. Some years we get a shit ton of snow. Other years it's super mild. We haven't gotten any snow. We've gotten snow in the elevations. Like when I'm leaving in the morning, I can see in the distance on the mountaintops some snow-capped mountains, which is gorgeous. I wanted to stay up there.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Because it is so limiting.
Annie, how do you deal with that? Because it does get really dark up there. You're, I think, even higher. Are you in Connecticut right now?
No, I'm in Massachusetts,
You're in Massachusetts, but you have a home in Connecticut, right?
New Hampshire.
Oh,
One of those little states.
Look, each one.
this is a total
really-
Westerner thing to do. I'm like,
I
what?
know. Well, yeah, I do. I'm sometimes like that with the middle of the country. I'm like, my
Me too.
geography is terrible and I like blow it all off. It's really nice in the
Great
middle,
with-
but I just,
I'm great with world geography, not U.S. geography.
I-
Yeah.
Like, I
anyway,
know where
Kimberly's not
Azerbaijan is
either.
in the Caspian Sea, but Rhode Island and Maryland, I couldn't accurately put my finger on it.
But it's dark up there.
It's
Mm.
dark. Yeah. Yeah. So how do I deal with it? I don't
Yeah.
know. I just try to get through it and
Yeah.
be outside in the day when I can. And I'd almost rather like have it be like really snowy and I could light a fire and feel like I can't go anywhere rather than just have.
I guess I do kind of like that because I got a nice fireplace.
Yeah.
And I like being snowed in. As long as I got food, I got something to
Take the
keep.
pressure off, right? You're like, can't go anywhere.
Yep. I can. I'm stuck.
Yeah. I like that theme though of like taking the pressure off. Let's think about that. Like, how can we take
Okay.
the pressure off during this holiday? Because it is like easier for me when it's like coming externally, like there's a snowstorm and you can't do anything.
Mhm.
Or like, I love that week between Christmas and New Year's where I feel like
Yes.
nobody's working, which
Right.
for some reason that seems like the quietest week of the year to me. I love that because then I feel like, oh, finally I can just like not respond to emails, or I feel off the hook.
Yeah.
But it would be better, of course, if we had that switch internally and we could just be like, I'm just gonna not feel responsible right now.
Mhm.
I'm not
Mhm.
very good at that.
I think taking that pressure off, I do.
No.
I've been exploring it this month, actually, because I followed a writer who was doing an Advent. And so every day of this month, she's doing like a little prompt for people. And she said, don't worry, these aren't going to be like big, laborious things that are going to add stress to your life. They're just going to be things to maybe think about. And one of them, because I sometimes feel stress about not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I should be having more festivities and gatherings and decorating the house. Like I get stressed about not doing it, if that
Of
makes
course,
sense.
me too.
So she said one of the prompts was to think about what the season means to you. Ignore everything that you've ever been told of what it is and what those rituals are, and do one thing that feels true to you around this season. And that was such a good way for me to kind of own this holiday and make it something that felt special entirely for myself. And it was actually just simple because I haven't done Christmas decorations in years. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to go out into the woods and I'm going to just find some boughs and some holly. We have holly all over the place, and I'm going to make myself a little mantle thing. And it felt so good and it actually took the pressure off, the pressure of feeling like I've got to do all this stuff. I'm just going to do one thing that feels like bringing the season inside the home. So what are you guys? Do you have something that feels true to you outside of all the expectations? And it could be something that we already do, but what feels true about the season to you?
That's a good
I
question.
have a 7-foot tree.
Mhm.
They're great. I love the smell.
Oh,
I love the tree.
yeah. Do you have ornaments on it too? Is it from, nostalgic ornaments and
Yeah, we do it as a group, meaning my friends, basically. Not my kids so much.
That's nice.
That's a sweet tradition. Wow.
I love a tree too. I do love the smell. I love the lights. I love sitting next to it. I love plugging it in every morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've always liked having real trees. Up until the past few years, my animals attack the trees, and it's just a big mess all the time. This year, Jonathan and I got a smaller fake tree that's got lights on it already. I've never been a fan of fake trees. I love this fake tree.
Mm,
And y'all have heard of Elf on a Shelf?
Yes.
yeah.
No,
I got
no.
Snoop on a stoop.
Wait, bring him up to your camera. Oh
Oh
my
my God.
God, that
That's
is
hilarious. Wait,
amazing.
what's his name? Say it again.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. Snoop on the stoop. I love it.
Yeah.
Way better than Elf on the Shelf.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Where did you find Snoop on a stoop?
It just popped up on my Facebook. It was like, do you want to snoop on a stoop?
You're
Yes.
like,
I
hell
do.
yeah.
I've never contributed to Christmas decorations, but now I have. With my Snoop on a stoop.
So, where is he gonna sit?
I've got these Russian like those Christmas. I can't.
Yeah, the nesting doll,
Yes,
nesting
yes,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
So he is up on my mantle, sitting with them.
Oh, perfect.
Nice.
I know Lisa has a question, and I don't know what it is, but maybe in this last 10 minutes, if you want to join us, Lisa, and throw us something.
Hi, y'all. I'm still in my classroom because they just finished their finals. And one of my students made this for me, so I appreciate that.
Nice.
Love it.
How are you
That's
feeling?
nice.
Fine, but it's like
Fine.
dripping and sad. I'm curious to know if there was anything this year that surprised you, either in a good way, not so great way, about your daily existence living with MS.
Mine is spasticity. I'm so stiff. I
Me
think it's
too.
the cold and maybe my MS spasticity is really becoming a challenge, but it's really altering the quality of my life. I hurt. I think spasticity is just a pain in the butt, but this is it, now my fingers hurt, my thumbs hurt, and I have to pry them out. They don't relax. My hands crawl in a fist, and I have to have my husband or someone else pull the fingers out. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
Well, you have great brain plasticity, but no increased body spasticity.
Yeah,
So-
well, you gotta.
We could write a poem about that.
I know.
Totally. I think my surprising thing was I had to do I'm doing the audio book for my book.
Mm.
And
That's hard.
it's 3 5-hour recording sessions. And so the first one, like I just didn't expect that it would make me tired. Like I knew I had to read for 5 hours and I was like, what a pain in the neck, but I didn't think I'd be so tired. And
Yeah.
I came out and usually like I associate like my MS symptoms flaring up when I haven't gotten enough sleep, things like that. But I came home from that and I slept well and I was, or if I have an illness, they flare up like a virus, but I was fine. But I did this 5-hour thing and I was pummeled and like my symptoms like came on like raging. And I just had to lie down on the couch and I was like, it was so, for me, that was like a learning that it was mental, that it was just that mental concentration exhausted me. And so then I talked to some people about it, like how to do it better. And it really helped me when I went back for the next 2, just doing some more breathing, making sure I was breathing and not like depriving my brain of oxygen. I think just breathing more and getting up more and taking a lot of breaks. But I think it just really surprised me that just mental concentration really made my symptoms flare. For me, I mean, that sounds obvious, but for me, it felt surprising.
No, that doesn't. I mean, I think that's a really good take home for all of us. I think it's easy to go, well, I wasn't doing anything. Why did I?
I
But then
wasn't.
you go look back on it, you go, oh, my head was spinning like crazy,
Yeah.
or I was chewing on something, or working hard, or
Yeah.
yeah.
I always thought if I had a book and I had to read it, I couldn't do it. It's exhausting to talk.
It's
I-
exhausting, and then by the end, you're like, I hate this book.
Right.
I
It's-
can't help it.
It's dumb. Did I really rate that? But it's hard to talk. It takes so much energy for me to talk. Like
Yeah.
after this hour, I don't want to talk a huge amount. I'm tired from
Me too.
talking.
Nap time.
Mhm.
And the other thing that really got me so upset is the wars in Ukraine and Israel and Hamas and Gaza. That's just so depressing.
Very
And
upsetting.
the thought of Donald Trump maybe reelected for me.
It's
I
just
know you're all I'm sure you're very diverse politically, but for me, it's devastating.
Mhm.
Me too.
It really is. It's
it's
frightening.
preposterous to think that he could be. I just don't know how he is the front runner.
No.
Um,
Yeah, it does make me it feels anticipating some really stressful times ahead, not that I'm saying that he's going to get elected, but it's just that part of me that's like, oh shit, what's coming, and then I think about a lot of things, but I also think about how my nervous system is going to handle it. With my track record, it's like when curveballs come, how do we handle these things? And it's scary.
yeah.
Plus, to Elizabeth's point too, I think just like, I mean, we talked mostly about Christmas here, but I was thinking like about people who celebrate Hanukkah, and I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of increase in anti-Semitism that's been really stressful, and then, there's just so much pain on both sides of this struggle, but I know people that are very much being activists against the Gaza situation supporting Gaza. And then there are some people who are Jewish who are feeling really hurt by that. It's just complicated. And I understand both sides. And I think there's a lot of pain and stress, and then bring that together with the holidays and celebrating. It's just a lot.
Yeah, and then bringing family that might have diverse opinions
Yeah,
to the table together. Do
that is
you,
a real
Elizabeth,
issue.
you have a large gathering. Is everyone sort of politically on the same page, or do you
No.
guys know?
Absolutely not.
Oh, that's my favorite thing about not having big family gatherings anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I
No
mean, that's
crazy
the hard
drunk
thing.
uncle.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you just call it off limits, Elizabeth? Or like if somebody brings it up, what
limits.
happens?
Oh,
Off
no,
limits?
it's off limits because
Mm.
there's no way. Oh, it's off limits.
There's
Does
no good
anyone
answer.
ever try to sneak it in, or does it just not happen? People obey.
I think people are afraid of the
Yeah.
collateral damage.
Yeah.
Not in my family. Ugh.
I just put a link in the chat if you have not seen Leslie Jones, How to Deal with the Holidays. Her spoof. It's
Oh,
hilarious. It's only like 2.5 minutes, and it's basically an
uh-oh. Oops, there we go. Okay, I've got it open. I wish we could watch it together, but
well, watch it. I mean, I laughed so hard I sent it to all my relatives and close friends.
oh, good.
So
It's Leslie Jones.
yeah, I just think she's hilarious anyway. But Kyle, you haven't chimed in. Has anything surprised you over the year?
Yeah, maybe something totally unrelated to anything we've talked about. It's I sliced off a large portion of my thumb with a mandolin slicer.
Oh,
How
those
wonderful.
things scare
And
me.
it went right through the nail,
Oh,
and
no.
it has almost entirely grown back.
Yeah.
I am shocked. I was like, I'm gonna be like a third of my thumb's just gonna be gone. It's back. Like
That's hopeful. That's
I'm a lizard
hopeful.
now.
Like
Now
the voice coming back and the thumb
Yeah.
growing back.
my
Brain
brain needs to
plasticity.
just get on the myelin and
Yeah, if your
Yeah.
thumb can do it, your brain can do it.
right.
That's
So
good.
get to it, body. Come on.
Yeah. I love that. What a good example that you can return to over and over again and be like, okay, my body
my
knew how to grow my thumb back.
I think it's great, the whole idea. Brain plasticity. So great. So damn, my muscles stop contracting, stop spasming. We have to do dumb exercise that I don't like, and I will do it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What kind of exercises are you doing for spasticity? Because my whole body has been so spastic.
Oh, I don't do anything.
Okay.
He just wants it to go away. Elizabeth just wants it to go
Does
away.
like body therapy help? Like if someone were to massage all your muscles, would that help?
Don't do massage because I feel too guilty about the money, but I do physical therapy that helps a lot. And I have one wonderful caregiver who knows how to stretch me. And when I'm nice to her, she considers maybe she'll do it. And it feels so good.
Mhm.
Well,
The boys keep barking. They're just barky little turds.
Your dogs.
wait, I can't believe it's already been 1 hour. How'd that happen? This is just wild, the way that these conversations go. But I'm looking forward to 2024. And I know, Elizabeth, I mean, we're gonna talk about like how we might want to evolve this show and what our needs are moving forward into the new year and all of that. So I feel like this has been a sweet gathering today to kind of close what we are doing and see, how it might want to evolve for the new year.
And I would like anyone's ideas, please let us know.
I had some ideas last night. Just thinking
good.
about y'all's Unfixed Mind series. Just watching all that and seeing portions of people's lives outside of. I feel like having something outside of this, like our lives, all of us, just little things. I don't know. I have a note written down somewhere. I will articulate it better next time we talk.
I love it. It was like
I
you
like-
woke up in the middle of the night and like took a little note.
Yeah.
Seriously, it was like 11 o'clock last night, and I was like, "Holy shit! What was
Oh,
this? I gotta tell you what I'm thinking right now because I've got a great idea."
I love it. I love it.
I like where you're planting seeds. It's great. I love where you're going with it. So keep nurturing that and let's talk about it.
Okay, cool.
And any wild and crazy audience members who really want to join us or want to have a one time only to just burst your ideas in public, let us know.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
thanks.
happy holidays, you guys. Wishing you all everything that you need for this season, if it's nothing or if it's abundant and everything, all or everything in between. I hope that you all have that, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm
Thank you
glad
all.
you're here.
Me too. Me too.
Happy
I'm
holidays,
laughing.
y'all.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.